What's going on, everybody? Yo, welcome to my very first episode of The Healthcare CEO. Yes, I am your host, Hanz Fequiere, and I am known around the world as the Healthcare CEO. Listen, in this Healthcare CEO podcast, we are going to drop gems beyond gems. I'm going to have some of the hottest heavy hitters in the healthcare industry. Some that got degrees, some that don't, but it's going to be here, right for you at the Healthcare CEO podcast. Let's get it. Listen, a lot of people ask me, man, why are you starting a podcast? Really, they've been asking me, how long is it going to take you to start a podcast? I've been asked this question for years. I didn't really think I knew, all the intricacies of a podcast, right? And I don't know if I am going to speak the right way or, articulate myself. Even though I've spoken on a lot of stages, I just had to wait for the right timing. And I had to wait to make sure I had the right information. And I wanted to make sure I was giving people something. So when I started this podcast, it's like, am I serving a need? I had to make sure that I was serving a need. And now I feel like I am. So this podcast is for everybody who not only dreams about doing something big, they actually want to do it. They're behind the gates trying to get in. And in this podcast, we got no gatekeepers, right? This podcast is brought to everyone who always thought about being in healthcare or just had a decision on how do I help people, but how do I make money and still spend time with my family, right? My backstory is I was a firefighter that always dreamt big, right? I wanted more. I got tired of asking somebody, can I take time off to spend with my family? I got tired of asking somebody for permission for vacation or even permission to be sick. That don't even make sense, how you have 2 weeks to be sick for the whole year. Never made sense to me. So when I wanted to start my own business and I became successful starting my ambulance company, that just made my mind wander, right? I stepped out of my comfort zone. I started an ambulance company. My first year, I made $1 million. Never even knew that until my accountant told me. And I knew if I did the right thing and I really helped people, the money will come. So what did I do? I taught other people how to start ambulance companies. Then I started doing research and realized that there's nothing in healthcare that I can't start with a medical degree, right? I don't need a medical degree to start a hospital. I don't need a medical degree to start a pharmacy, right? So I'm like, dang, how do I get this information out to so many people? And then when I started doing the research and I started really helping people, I got to the point where I'm not only helping people throughout the United States, I'm helping people in Europe. I'm helping people in different countries get into healthcare. Look, we got to stop putting the control or the power of our health in the hands of other people. We got an opportunity to control that, right? And make millions of dollars doing it. This is not a podcast just to talk about people's success stories. I'm going to have people that didn't succeed in healthcare telling you what to do and what not to do, right? You can learn a lot from someone's failures as you can from someone's success stories. So this is a podcast that's going to be open. It's going to be transparent. It's going to be one of the podcasts that you can take notes and really figure out the blueprint on from whatever my guest is telling you. When I invite a dentist out here, he's going to tell you how to start a dental office. When I invite a home care millionaire out here, he's going to tell you how to start a home care business. He's not going to tell you a sad story about how he grew up with a single parent. We're not doing that here. We're doing the Blueprint podcast. This is the Blueprint podcast. It's a podcast for those people that truly aspire becoming something bigger. And even if your goal is not to be in healthcare, use this platform to make enough money to do what you really want to do, right? My goal was never to really own an ambulance company. I do love it, but what did this thing do for me? My ambulance company helped me start my own home care. It helped me own a restaurant in one of the best malls in Atlanta, right? So shout out to Ann Cheese, my restaurant, and on the 3rd floor by Bloomingdale's. Y'all just plug that real quick. But yeah, so it gave me an opportunity to travel the world, meet different people. And so I want to be a blessing to others through this podcast. I want people to get inspired through this podcast, but not just leave with inspiration, because inspiration or motivation without the direction, it's pointless, right? It leads you to nowhere. So I want people to take tangible information from here, applicable information, and they can really use it to grow, scale their business, however you want to do it, right? And we're going to keep it real, man. We're going to talk to people, and I'm going to try to control my profanity, but this is going to be a podcast that I'm going to have doctors, and we're going to get straight to the point, right? We're going to have guests on here that you know, some that you don't know. Some of my best guests are going to be people I found from LinkedIn, not from Instagram. This podcast is for people like myself. Listen, my parents are from Haiti, all right? They moved to New York when they were 18. I got the best of both worlds, right? My dad was a respiratory therapist. my mom was an entrepreneur. I saw what working a 9-to-5 did for my father, right? No control, no freedom. His creativity was controlled. His time with his family was controlled. Then I saw the other side where my mom was an entrepreneur, traveled the world, bought linens, and came back and sold them. Then my mom opened a bakery in the early 80s, right? So she was a baker and she did catering for large events. Then she opened up a store in the flea market where she sold clothes. Then she sold linen out one of our bedrooms in one of our houses. Like, my mom was a true entrepreneur, but I saw that and I saw the hard work. But what I loved about what I saw with my mom, the freedom, spending time with her family, traveling with her friends. And then when I saw my dad, even though I admired my dad, all I saw was hard work, right? And then when my dad gave one of the largest hospitals in Miami 30 or close to 30 years of his life, as soon as that dude got kidney failure, he had to resign. That's crazy. Like, I can't dedicate that much of my time to somebody else's dream. And not to say that I'd never be like my father. I love him and I take his hard work ethics, but I don't take his mentality. I'm not giving somebody 30 years of my life. I give it to myself. Like, I don't do that shit. I'm sorry. I just can't, right? It seems weird. And this is what this podcast is about. And I know people work. I'm not knocking people that work a 9-to-5. But for the rest of your life, right? It just doesn't make any sense that you will give someone 30 years of your life so you could enjoy probably 15. Because by the time you retire, you're 60, 65. And now I'm giving you 30 so I could enjoy 15. The math ain't mathing to me. The numbers don't add up, right? So I'd rather take my chances, put my money up, and enjoy the life that I'm living now. I'm not the richest person, but what do you define as rich, right? I define rich as being able to go to every soccer game with my son, being able to take my daughter on her 21st birthday to Japan. Like, that's rich to me. Not how much money I got in the bank, but how much time I got, the freedom I got, right? And I don't have to wait. I started my ambulance company with $5,000 that I had from my taxes and bought a truck, an ambulance from a tidal pond. The truck was garbage, but that truck helped me get to one truck. One truck helped me get to another truck. By the time I was done with that year, I had a fleet of 6 ambulances, making over $100K a month. I don't even have a college degree. I went to community college. That's like community college, and I dropped out, right? I was too busy playing dominoes and basketball instead of going to class. But all my money and all my business acumen came from hard work and just trying different things. Like, y'all only got one life to live. This podcast is for somebody who doesn't say, oh, I got one life to live, I'm going to use it. That's a cliche. Or, I'm going to live my dashes. How people say on your tombstone is your birth date and the day that you died, and what does the dash say? Yeah, I don't want people to just say that as a speech. I want people to say, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. And you know what? I'm going to follow Hanz's podcast because he dropped game and he made sure all his guests drops knowledge and a blueprint. No gatekeeping. Leave your keys at the door, all right? Because we're giving those keys to everybody who listens in so they can know how to do it. And I got that Harriet Tubman mentality, right? If I'm going to find a way out, I'm going to go back and get other people, and I'm not charging them, right? I want everybody to have that mentality when it comes to this podcast. I've helped so many people start ambulance companies in Georgia, and I've had so many times somebody says, yo, why are you helping other people start an ambulance company in your own city? I learned one time from this young lady who helped me start my first tax office, and I asked her the same question. And she passed away of breast cancer, like 33. Her name was Nicole Fang. And I said, Nicole, yo, why are you helping me start a tax office? You know I'm your competition. Nicole told me, yo, what God got for me, no one can take. I was like, damn, that stuck with me. And so what do? I help people start ambulance companies, and my blessings don't stop. I'm still good. I've helped probably 20 ambulance companies in Georgia, and hopefully we all work together. And if somebody needs an employee, we call each other. If someone needs help with a patient, we call each other, right? So before me, and I'm gonna stand on that because I know Cass is gonna be like, nah, we was doing this. No, they weren't. Before me, Cass was arguing with each other in ambulance companies. Me, my boy Dre, and my homeboy Burke, who's an attorney, started this business called, LLC called the Ambulance Coalition. We believed doctors don't fight each other for patients. Chiropractors don't fight each other for patients. Why are we fighting each other? But if we work together, we can grow this thing. So I want people like that watching my podcast. If you're watching my podcast just to critique or fact check everything we say, this ain't for you. If you're watching my podcast just to take notes, but really never apply what we're doing or what we're saying to your life, this ain't for you. If you're trying to watch my podcast for me to say, man, every entrepreneur gets up at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, y'all don't sleep. I sleep, bro. I wake up at like 8. I ain't doing that. I know how to cram whatever time God gives me. I make the best out of that time. I don't believe in like not sleeping. This ain't that motivational, we yelling at you podcast. This is a podcast that can tell you in 45 minutes how to start whatever business my guest is mastering and succeeding in, or whatever business my guest failed at, because you're going to learn a lot from that person's learning lessons, right? We don't call them failures. We call them learning lessons. So this is that podcast, right? This is the podcast that not only am I going to have guests on here, but we're going to talk to that guest and find out what's unhealthy about their business, right? And we're going to diagnose their business, and we're going to remedy their business, and we're going to post their business by promoting somebody else who could help them. So this is a Each One Teach One podcast. This is a Iron Sharpens Iron podcast. This is a podcast that we do not hold anything back. 90% information, 10% motivation. Yeah, we want to know a little bit about your background because we want people to fall in love with you. But the best way you can fall in love with me is by knowing a little bit about my history, but knowing a lot more about my present and my future, and making sure that I include you in that process, right? And so that way you can be blessing to another. This is a podcast for people that want to take this information, grow, start a business, grow a business, but go back and help somebody else out. Like, yo, I'm going to show you how to do this. This is that podcast. I want everybody to learn. Look, I talk to people all the time. I give my phone number out. And my team always say, why you give your phone number out? Because the game that I'm giving, it can't be done through audio books. It can't be done through you taking my course. And I'm going to tell you, I put everything on my ambulance course. But people still need that mentorship. People still need the call and that accountability. I'm that guy. And I'm putting people on this podcast that got the same mentality, where you ain't too big to give out your number or your email, or you ain't too big to have somebody call you directly without going through your assistant. You know what I'm saying? We ain't doing that. Look, I know it's money out there. Healthcare is $1 billion industry. It's not going anywhere. It's $1 trillion industry. So I'm here to help that guy who didn't finish school. I don't care if you have a degree. I don't care if you have a high school diploma. I'm here to help you get this money and build a legacy for your family. That's what the Healthcare CEO podcast is about. And the podcast is followed by the Healthcare CEO community that not only can you tune in, but you can join this community and find like-minded people that's really about elevating each other, and find doctors on there, find resources that you need to grow, scale, and start your business. That's what the Healthcare CEO podcast is about. And as God is my witness, we're going to keep dropping dope episodes every week. Every week. If you don't see me with the guests, you're going to see me, but I'm going to teach you something, right? But every week, the goal is to teach you guys something that nobody else is talking about, and to put that information there where hopefully y'all are taking notes. We're going to talk to people about everything healthcare related and business related. That's what the Healthcare CEO is about. So when we talk to someone about their business, we're going to have people here talking about credit. So we're going to wonder, what we're going to talk about, what is your credit health for your business, right? We're going to talk about, what is your AI help for your business? We're going to have CPAs talking about your financial health for your business. We're going to have people talking about, what's your funding health, right? What's your mental health? How are you building a culture? How are you creating a business that's scalable, fundable, or franchisable, right? We're hitting every aspect of business when it comes to business health. So we're not just sticking with the healthcare industry, but we're talking about what part of your business is unhealthy that we can assist you in, to make sure that we diagnose what's wrong with it and help you remedy that problem so you can have a healthy business in every aspect of the word, right? So that's what I'm bringing to the table. That's what the Healthcare CEO podcast is going to be about. And I want you to not just hold this information to yourself. Tell somebody, yo, subscribe to my man's channel, man. He's dropping it. He's killing it. Subscribe to that channel, bro. Pass that, post it on your Instagram, right? And then at the end of the day, when we get this community and we get thousands and hopefully millions of followers, let's all link up and do a seminar where everybody can meet each other for free. We're going to be the digital LinkedIn, all right? We're going to be the podcast that all the big players come on, right? And drop game after game and tell you how to do everything from A to Z, what to avoid, how to get money. Don't just say apply for this or build credit. We're going to talk, show these cats how to build credit. What's the first thing they got to do? What banks do they need to go to? That's what we're talking about on this. How do we recruit? Go to LinkedIn. If you start an ambulance company, where do you get your employees from? Go to the fire department. That's where 90% of your employees are going to come from. Where do you get government contracts? Okay, you go to sam.gov and fill this out. The first thing you're going to do is fill this paper out. Then you're going to go do this. That's the type of interview that we are going to have on the Healthcare CEO podcast. I got a dope team behind me. And you know what? We got to take time to introduce them, right? So one of my producers, my daughter who goes to KSU, put me on to this young man who's super freaking talented. And I want him to come on right now. Come on, my guy. Let's go. I ad-lib. This is what this podcast is about. We're going to share the mic. And what would we call you? We would call you what, the producer?
I guess so.
All right, cool.
I guess so.
All right.
What's up, you guys? My name is Christian Davis. Everybody on campus or like that knows me calls me CD. And yes, this is what I do. On a business where we do marketing campaigns, visuals, photography, graphic design, basically anything that you need, that you want to see, that you have a vision for, we can create it for you. So yeah.
Let's go. All right, what do you want people to call you?
They call me CD.
All right, CD. So when y'all hear me yelling at somebody, be CD, what the hell, man? Let's get this. All right. So next up, we got my man with the white T-shirt. What's your name, my guy? Omar. Omar, let's go. Sit right here real quick. I got to introduce y'all to the team because everybody be like, people do podcasts and they never say who the hell is making the Build podcast go together, right? You see all these celebrities, but they don't give credit to the people that make them look good, right? It's like they do everything on one take. Y'all already had to do 3 takes for my intro, right? And so, all right, my man Omar, what do you do? And let's get it.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Omar. Basically, like he said before, I go to KSU. I own a podcast myself. It's called Who in the Cut. Go check that out. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. But yeah, man. But that's what I do basically. But yeah.
So my guy Omar is going to really help us put this podcast together. Of course, CD is the producer. And then we got my man, the engineer, my videographer, my guy. Let's go. We're going to get you introducing yourselves, man, because I got to give much love to these guys, man. And they're really going to make this thing pop. All right, let's go. Intro.
What's up, everybody? My name is Tim Dees. I'm a sophomore at Kennesaw State University, owner of Dees Productions and Entertainment, LLC, multimedia production company based in Metro Atlanta.
Ooh, that's right, man. I appreciate you coming. All right, so what do you want people to call you?
Tim. You can call me Tim. What's up?
So we got the team so far, right? We got CD, we got Omar, we got Tim. Tim is the guy that makes sure all my wires are put together. He mixes the board and he does all that other stuff. But there's another person, young lady. Are you Tim's assistant? I'm getting to know these people too. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Christian's assistant. And your name is? What? Oh, okay. We got 2 Christians. All right. All right, let's go. All right, cool. And what do you do, young lady?
Hi, my name is Christian. I write and I screenwrite as well as produce, and I'm Christian's assistant. So, yeah.
That works because I just bought a teleprompter. So she'll be the one writing all the PowerPoints for all my guests, and she'll help me stay on task and say, hey, Hanz, you were supposed to talk about this. Because our podcast is 45 minutes to an hour long, so Christian's going to make sure that we fulfill that 45 hours with not just dead air talk or boring conversations, but her and I will sit there and with the help of the producer, of course, CD, we're going to come up with great content and ways to interview people so you guys can get the best of the best. And for every second that we talk on this podcast, it's going to be relevant information to that person that we're interviewing and make sure that your time with us is spent very well. All right? Because we appreciate everybody who tunes in. This is a blessing that God put me into this podcast. We spent not years, but months building our studio, a lot of money building our studio, and we wanted to give y'all top of the line information in the top of the line studio, right? With the top of the line crew that teaches us how to get top of the line production. So again, this is Hanz, the Healthcare CEO. We are going to be streaming this podcast every Tuesday. Christian, do you know what time we want to put this out? All right, so we're learning as we go. So we will do our research, and I think I looked. ChatGTP said the best time is like Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday, Thursdays. So you guys will come up with a schedule as a team, and whenever the team decides, we will post the podcast. I know we're going to be shooting, of course, we'll keep that private. And we are in a disclosed location, right? We want to keep this dope. We are in the cut. Y'all ain't never going to find out. Look, I got Stormy Wellington coming here. I got, oh my God, what is that boxer's name? We got a couple of guys coming that's going to be heavy hitters. Hopefully we could keep getting him. What is the boxer that fought? He black guy, tall guy. He got knocked out by the white dude. We got Deontay Wilder coming. We got a couple of people that's going to be posted. I'm going to keep reaching out to people, but it's really going to be about getting the best people to talk about health and how they turned their health journey into a business, or how they came out of the bedside, whether they're doctors or nurses, and started a business in healthcare, and they're going to show you guys how to start that business. So we're going to have the non-medical degrees and the people that have medical degrees starting here. I have a young lady who's a doctor right now, and she owns several Massage Luxe spas. She's getting out of the bedside and she's actually quitting becoming a doctor to show people, and she started a Massage Luxe franchise, so we're definitely going to talk to her about it. We got a couple of people from Married to Medicine that's going to be on this podcast and talking to people about how they balance work life and how can people in the hospital probably get on TV, right? But we're asking people the blueprint. My guy from Married to Medicine, he has his own, not urgent care, but primary care. We're going to talk to him how to start his own primary care. We're going to talk to the spa chick. We got a lot of heavy hitters, man. It's going to be people that's dropping game. I'm not inviting anybody that's going to say, well, if you want more, you got to join this, or you got to. No. How do they get at least the bare minimum to get started? And that's the type of interviews we want to talk about. We want to make sure that when y'all leave these interviews, y'all leaving with some applicable information, tangible stuff that you can take and really apply it, right? Because I've been on that side. That's another reason I started this podcast. I went to too many damn seminars, and I'm not going to mention any of them because we're not doing the negative stuff on this podcast, but I've been to too many seminars where it's really just motivation. They get a lot of celebrities. They talk about how they went through the grind, how they, did this. Y'all motivated already. That's why y'all watching, right? So the motivations, I'm not giving nobody motivation. You got to be self-motivated. I don't ask God for nothing because I feel like God says, I woke you up and you still asking me for stuff. So that's how I'm going to treat y'all. We putting this podcast on. If you're coming here, we're not going to give y'all motivation. We're assuming that you guys are already motivated, right? So I want to spend my time giving y'all information, again, that you can use. And as soon as you leave this podcast, the very next day or as soon as you get off, you can start your LLC. You can start, your business. And we can really show y'all how to get things done. Because this is the time, all right? So I'm going to tell y'all this. There was a bunch of businesses started during COVID. Everybody had free money. Now, the real entrepreneurs are coming out. Cats that don't have money, that got to really figure out how to grind. Look, I was proud of so many people that became entrepreneurs during COVID. That was the easy time. Now we're going to see who the real entrepreneurs are, who the ones who could strategize and really say, all right, when the government's not giving me this free money, I can still make a meal. That's what I want to see. I want to see who the real entrepreneurs are, and that's who this podcast is for, all right? So I know it's supposed to be 45 minutes, but again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling y'all, about me. My story's been done over and over. I've done several podcasts. I've done the TED Talks. And so if you know who I am, if you don't know who I am, just Google me. And when you see, I don't got no comments, negative comments on anything that I post because I really live this. All right, so I want y'all to join in this podcast. I'm so excited. God is so great. I've been blessed with a great team. And we're going to get it going, man. And we're going to give every team a opportunity to be interviewed so we could talk about their business and how they can elevate your business as well, all right? So this is me signing off on my first episode, short and sweet. Hanz Fequiere, the healthcare CEO. I thank y'all for tuning in. And listen, it's going to get bigger and better. I want y'all to go through this journey with me, all right? There's going to be some bumps and bruises, but every day we're going to strive to be better than we were the day before. So I'm signing off, and it's going to get dope. And I love y'all. Let's make this happen. Hanz Fequiere, the healthcare CEO for his podcast. Thank you, God, is always my mantra. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.